decision making is much faster. The process of making those decisions is at a different speed than it was this time last year. Learning the system and trying to work your way through progressions is not the easiest thing in the world to do the first time you're introduced to it. And like everything else, once you learn it, become more comfortable with it, it works out pretty well. And he's done a really good job of doing the things necessary to learn the system. Study the playbook, study the video. He can draw it all up, and then and now he's teaching it to the other guys in the room. And if you're able to do those, take those 4 steps and use them in that order, he's got a great chance of mastering what we want to do now. The same guys, we didn't have the same guys last spring that we did really this fall even, and so to get more time with those same people that played this fall, I think will matter a lot with the timing, his anticipation, things along those lines. All those, and even the speed of the receiving core right now, is a little bit better, which helps train the quarterback as well. And those guys are extremely valuable. Both of them are, Peyton's been here already for a semester, so he's got a little bit better idea of what's going on with most of the stuff that we're doing right now. And Spencer's Spencer's racing right along, trying to learn it, at the same time. So, we'll see what happens. There's plenty of more practice. We got 7 more times out here this spring, basically, and then we'll hit preseason, and that's where everything will start fitting into place.
Is Peyton progressing like you want him to?
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing well?
No doubt. I mean, everything. It's so hard to explain the level of improvement and how it jumps from the time you're a freshman that walks onto campus, and when we get a chance to coach you in August, till now when we started. We started here in March. I mean, his footwork's different. Everything's sped up a lot more. He has an understanding of what we're looking for. There's plenty of things that he's got to work on, just like everybody else. But the improvement's so vast. It's hard to describe it all. When you watch these guys, it's almost you can't even when your first child is born and they first learn how to crawl, and now they first learn how to roll over, then they learn how to crawl, then they learn how to crawl faster, and then they're up and they're wobbling around the house. The next thing you know, they're running all over the place, and you can't stop them, and you can barely remember what it was like when they were just rolling around. Well, that's kind of how it is here. That's how much improvement you see. It's almost that fast. That's probably a better question for Brian than it is for me. But it's a fraction of what we do. Right. At this stage. But when you get him out here, you can throw that at him, see how he feels about it. And we can, I'll be interested to know.
You talked about the quarterback recruiting. Does it make it more critical now with as much movement there is to each class to kind of hone in on somebody and make sure you get the right guy?
Yeah, I guess it is, but you still have to go about the process the right way, and you got to get the guy that fits in your program. I think a lot of it has to do with you want to get a guy who wants to be here. That's a big part of whether or not guys will be successful, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not going to push the panic button as our guys, our staff knows, because you can't force that issue. You'll find the right guys sooner or later. You just have to keep digging and keep looking, and you gotta, it's a little tougher sometimes, I think, to with all the gun offenses now, which are even more than there used to be when I was here the first time. Being able to take the statistical information and kind of marry it up, is a little tougher, because the throw, you don't see the same throws we used to be able to see. I mean, I can remember waiting Ricky Stanzi's on Stanzi's tape to see all the throws that we wanted to see, and I think we offered him. I think we might have been on the way to the Outback Bowl or something that day, and called him and told him, and he committed. But sometimes it takes a long time to get everything that you want, to see on tape. You can't always see it. You can't even see it half the time live if you go to a game, because of of what happens. I went to a couple ball games this fall. One game I went to, the score was 55-0 at halftime, and they threw the ball 7 times, or whatever. But so that happens. What do you get out of that? So that's what your camps are for, and some of the other.
You get more value out of actually going out like next month and watching kids throw, and
yeah, definitely.
And what do you look? I mean, what's on your checklist when you do go out to see kids?
Just like you said, guys that can throw, get the ball out of their hands. And again, it's a little different too. But you want them to have, foot quickness. You want them to be able to get the ball out of their hands, have a pretty quick release and a tight delivery. Those are things everybody's after. These are the normal things every quarterback coach is looking for. And you want them to have the arm strength to be able to deliver the balls where they need to be with the throws that you're asking them to make in your offense. That means different things to different offenses, but that's all. That's all you're looking for. Nothing special, but you got to be able to see it in game situations, because that's how you can tell where the anticipation comes into play.
What?